Dear students, today as part of our paper Consumer Awareness, we are going to deal with the third unit, that is on consumer rights. So there are various components to consumer rights, but today in this class I would like to outline the broad categories that come under the title consumer rights. So you have to remember that the idea of consumer protection started in the first half of the 20th century, but it took the form of rights only in the 1960s. It is because in 1962 the US President John F. Kennedy declared four basic consumer rights as very important for every consumer. These are the right to safety, the right to be informed, the right to choose, and the right to be heard. As because this declaration was made on the 15th of March, every year this particular day is being observed as World Consumer Rights Day. Again, adherence to these kinds of rights is more possible in developed countries than in developing countries. So, let us discuss what is the right to safety and what is the right to be informed, and so on and so forth. The right to safety is something which can be explained through an example. If you buy a cigarette packet, in that pocket it is written smoking is injurious to health, and also a picture has been depicted stating the evil effect of taking or smoking cigarettes. So this is something which is called the right to safety. So innocent people, illiterate people, they do not know the hazardous effect of smoking cigarette. Now it is the duty of the government to inform people that smoking is injurious to health, and it is through such passing information people will be aware of such hazardous effects and will try to avoid smoking cigarette or consuming alcohol. Government on its side imposes heavier taxes on cigarette and liquor products only to discourage people. So in a society where men or patriarchal elements tend to dominate, they try to expose their masculinity through adhering to the practice of smoking and consuming alcohol. So to discourage that, higher price has been fixed, and therefore when many people are informed about the ill effect of consuming alcohol and smoking cigarette, they gradually try to avoid this practice. If at all this is not being informed to the people, there must be higher death rates owing to the consumption of alcohol and also smoking of cigarette. There are also several social effects to these practices, because a substantial amount of income is spent by a household member on these practices, and their family is being affected by such undue expenses incurred by the member. So safety is not just physical safety, but also a kind of social safety and a social security that we are talking about when we say the right is about to right to safety. In some products it is written that you keep this away from the access of children, and in some products it is written that store in a refrigerator. In India, children, they are very much fond of chocolates, and children belonging to higher society, they have a fondness to consume foreign chocolates. So in western countries they produce good chocolates, and people in the western country, in the place of a lunch or breakfast, they take these chocolates alone. So these chocolates are of high quality, that they are usable only in cold climate. Once it is exported to a tropical country like India, then owing to the heat it tends to melt. So in the melting effect, if you consider eating this chocolate, and it is scientifically proven that such chocolates will stimulate the brain and will cause hypertension among children, and therefore it should be avoided. So many people, they do not know about this. Only literate or educated people, they know this, but in the higher society itself, they are not knowing this, because those products are produced for foreign consumption, but not for Indian people importing that, and these foreign people, they have no responsibility of informing Indian people about a product which is targeting their people, and therefore right to safety has to be broad based. And studies point to children with hypertension or ADHD, that is attention diversion hyperactive syndrome or hyperactive deficiency, have been reported in large scale in countries like India. Maybe this consumption of chocolates of this kind is one among such causes. So let us try to study what the right to be informed is all about. So if you buy a medicine, a tablet or a strip of tablet, you might come across writings stating that this tablet should be consumed only by the advice of a doctor. So doctors alone can prescribe that particular medicine. So what happens is, in some tablets it is written that this particular medicine has been proved to be hazardous in rats, and therefore do not take this without the advice of doctors. So doctors only know the right medicine to be administered to the right patient, and they also know the dosage to be administered. So without knowing all this, just going to a physician shop or a medical store and buy a type of medicine and consuming on own will be another problem. So in every medicine it is informed that you should take this medicine only with the prescription of a doctor. And earlier I cited the example of chocolates. So similarly, when you discuss about kinds of food in a society, you have healthy foods and junk foods. And junk foods are foods such as that are being produced under fast food technology. So in a very speedy manner, using this microwave oven or some other utensil, they manufacture this food. So very healthy foods are easily digestible, such as fruits and vegetables. But in society we have large number of companies, they sell these kinds of pizzas and burgers, which may not be suitable for Indian climate or Indian human bodies. But government has not banned any pizza selling store or burger selling shops, because once in a while if somebody wants to take these products, it is welcomeable, because it is only an entertainment to take a different kind of food, and it is the responsibility of the consumer to protect himself. But through various channels, government also urges that avoid taking these kinds of fast food manufactured products. So wide ranging types of foods and other materials are available in a society. It is your right to choose or not to choose, and this right is understandable in such a model. Every company or industry that is producing material for consumers should have a consumer redressal mechanism. If somebody is saying that your product has severely affected my health, or it is not up to the expected standard, then a complaint can be made to that particular company, and it is the responsibility of that company to give perfect answers or remedies. So there should be a redressal mechanism. So this is what has been said as the right to be heard. The consumer should be heard. The retailer should welcome such complaints from the consumers. And in these days in service sector also, if you watch a program, they telecast along with the program that if you have some complaints, you please make your complaint on this address, and they also drop some disclaimer pertaining to certain programs. So these four rights that were outlined in the 1960s were broad based in the 1980s, and they were further expanded and elaborated. So these four further rights are the right to satisfaction of basic needs, the right to redress, the right to consumer education, the right to a healthy environment, the right to satisfaction of basic needs. So, for instance, take the services of a municipality. So, municipality is taking taxes. So, here we are giving money and we become a consumer of the services provided by the municipality. So, they have to provide us a very good service pertaining to supply of water. So if that water is not pure or potable, then you can lodge a complaint against the municipality. So the right to satisfaction of basic needs is very important and is a basic need. The right to live in a healthy environment is another important right. That is, some industries are being established and they are being maintained in residential area, and they let out a lot of pollution, smoke pollution or other types of pollution which affect the health of the people, and some of the impact of such pollution are often observed in the view of the industry. For instance, take the case of the sterlite industries. These industries claim that cancer rate has not increased owing to the pollution made by the industry, and they claim that they have socially contributed enormously for the development of the city of Thoothukudi. So people have gone for cases in several courts, and Sterlite is fighting these cases, and if judgments are delivered against Sterlite, then the right to redress has been put to work, and thereby a fair settlement of just claims, including compensation of misrepresentation, shoddy goods, or unsatisfactory services, will emerge from out of judgments. Apart from all this, the right to consumer education is also very essential, because educated people these days, if at all they want to buy a product, they go for comparison in the internet and they choose the product then and there, and they predominantly place their order in over internet itself. But for innocent people, they visit the retailer shop and they choose a product, and it is the duty of the retailer through the wholesaler to inform the plus and negatives of every product. When informing the people, the sales representative should not be biased towards one particular product and prejudice to another particular product. So he should give a balanced view of all products and try to give a holistic view to the consumers who is trying to buy that product. On 16th April 1985, United Nations through its resolution numbered 39/248 issued certain guidelines, and again in December 2015 under resolution 70/186 it revised the earlier guidelines. So consumer rights have to be framed by every country in accordance with these guidelines. So whatever these guidelines may be, that is not very important to us, but consumer protection laws framed by our country is very important. This will be discussed in subsequent classes. So for today I have given an outline of what is consumer rights. With this I would like to close my class. Thank you very much.